Good day, everyone! Welcome back to Let's Play Arcblad 2 with me, EclecticAndrew the Gamer. Today, we are returning to this guild in Amiogu in order to complete this five feathers of the Amiogu rock. A merchant came to Marie looking for 5 feathers of an Amiogu rock. Get the feathers and give them to him at the merchant at the bar who is waiting at the bar. He's not past the bar. He's just staying at the bar. He is a merchant after all. Though he's not a good merchant like Tornico Taloon, who likes to go out and get his own treasures to sell for himself. Not like this merchant who hires other people to do it for him, which I guess makes sense for a merchant in a way, but let us see. If we talk to the merchant over here, this will be him. Yes. No, actually it's this guy. The tail feathers of the Miyagi rock are valuable. People covet them, but they're very hard to get. Huh? Oh, you're from the guild. I'd like some feathers, 5 to be precise. From the Amiogu rock birds on Medita Hill. Thanks! You're welcome, I guess, but, what? You haven't found any tail feathers? Well, I know there are rocks near Medita Hill. But the birds are quite shy. Keep trying. Not really all that shy. I think once, as you've seen before in this Let's Play, we've gone to Medita Hill quite a few times, but never found any rocks there before. However, I'm pretty sure that with this quest being accepted and at least talking to the merchant, who knows, maybe we have to, maybe we don't have to. You know, maybe much more Star Traffic syndrome with this town or something, but the rocks should be here at Medita Hill. There they are, in the back there. But there's only one of them, but we need 5 feathers. Yes, well, in order to finish this quest, we need to fight this battle 5 more times over in order to complete the quest. Because each rock only gives 1 feather, so we need to do 5 battles in this hill 5 more times in order to fight 5 more rocks in order to get 5 more feathers. Yeah, I'm actually going to be skipping this out for you. I'm going to cut off right here, and I will meet you back here as soon as possible with 5 feathers. Wish me luck. Alrighty, we got the 5 feathers. Happy to do so. Sad we're checking out birds, but they're monsters anyway, so we take out monsters in this world. Keep in mind in case I have any other jobs, okay? So that's all done and good and done and dusted, as you could say. Couple rocks, many birds. Because as they say, well, they say a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush, but I'll say you can take out 2 birds with 1 stone. So that's where I was going with the stones and the rocks and the... Okay, so that should be all for a total playtime of 15 minutes. I was a little distracted by some Discord stuff going on, which actually now, thank you for reminding me, I'm going to turn that off right now. I'm going to not rename it. Give me a second. I'll meet you outside. Alright, so I'm not only meeting outside, I'm meeting in a completely different land altogether. I brought Deikbeck along with me to gain some experience from fighting those 5 rocks, because I want to level up my gargoyle as much as I can, to bring them along with me into the sealed ruins we're going into next, because it's going to be very dangerous and very high level monsters for the gargoyle. I have not brought along most of my quest, but I'm going to need a flying monster with me, and only flying monsters will do. No other guardian forces or anything else really fly. Well, there is Odon, but that can't always be guaranteed unless there's a flying monster in the battle you're going to be fighting in. Alright, now, right and proper, here we are at the Sealed Ruins in Amiogu in order to dive into the ruins and get some power units for Deikbeck. Well, we're already going to have to bring Gargo along, so let's not bring Deikbeck or somebody like him along. Let's bring some tough, strong fighters. Maybe... let's get Shantae another level up. So I got her up 1 level while doing the Amiogu Rock quest, but What else do I want to bring along with me? I want to bring along somebody who does some AoE damage, so let's bring Elk along with us too. Yeah. I like this party. Because I have Shu and Elk for AoE damage, and I have Grugga for super strong damage, Shantae for healing, and the Gargoyle Specialist as a flyer. In order to be getting these treasure chests over here in the random areas of the floors of the dungeon. And make sure to check all the areas we need to fight in. Make sure we check all the areas we need to fly to as well. Also, Shu's really useful for casting speed up on the Gargoyle. Of course, the Gargoyle can also speed itself up at the moment. I don't know if the guide I was using suggests using Gargoyle, or even one of the Gargoyles or flies in this dungeon for the reason of using speed up on them. But they did suggest bringing Shu along in order to use speed up on the monster you brought with you. But I mean to say, I don't know if the Gargoyles they have in this dungeon, up there, over there on the right, away from these mutant flies, are the type of Gargoyle that can cast speed up on itself, or the Gargoyle I have is specifically one that can cast speed up on itself. So I don't really need Shu to cast speed up on itself, but it can have it cast speed up on itself. How many more times can I say itself? Well, why don't we just get into some damage range and deal some damage. We want to take out these monsters as quickly as possible, but also as slowly as possible. Maybe I should have brought along somebody who can stun enemies, like Iga or Tosh. Maybe that would have helped me quite a bit. Because as far as I can tell or remember, I don't think any of my team members right now can cast stunning abilities, which sucks. I have Invincible. That won't stop me from dealing damage to them. I wonder, how am I going to do this effectively? This might take multiple tries through this dungeon, who knows? Yeah, I don't have... Well, I could confuse some monsters with Grugga's Confusion Storm. That might help. That might be very useful indeed. Maybe confuse the last one or two monsters in the field and take care of getting all those treasure chests while that monster runs around confused. Which kind of brings me to my point I've been trying to make for a couple episodes now. Have you ever played Shining Force and/or Fire Emblem? Fire Emblem you know better, I'm sure, than Shining Force, but Shining as a series has gone through a lot of different changes over the years, whereas Fire Emblem has gone through minor changes over the years, but it's mainly retained its strategy RPG roots, much like Art Glad. But, Shining Force has gone through many changes as opposed to being a strategy game for only a couple games here and there. But why I want to bring this up is Shining Force and Fire Emblem make use of big, wide, open maps in order to do its battle parts in. Whereas you can tell with Art Glad, we've been going into dungeons and fighting monsters here and there, and groups of monsters, and it's like a normal RPG, but it's just like we're walking around on a field of battle, taking our turns as we go along. So it's technically kind of a mix of a SRPG and a JRPG in a sense, where we're dungeon diving and strategy walking, strategy fighting. But as opposed to Fire Emblem and Shining Force with the wide open fields and the wide open spaces and the number of monsters we fight in those battles, where it's kind of more like a war sim, if anything. Not as bad as StarCraft or World of Warcraft or some such. I don't know those games at all, but yeah. Art Glad does stand out from those two games in the sense that it does multiple rounds of strategy RPG battles over and over again. And so it has seemed very slow, hasn't it? As opposed to like Final Fantasy, where the random battles are over quick as a lick. But then the mutant flies have death status, fatality status. I could make use of that in order to... Good. Great thing I brought Grogu along with me then, isn't it? To instantly kill them. So I can make use of the Mutant Fly's 1 HP status in order to stall out the battles too. But like I said, I brought Grogu along, and he insta kills monsters from the 1 HP status. So that sucks. While I'm speaking of the Shining series, while I've got it in my brain, the very first Shining game was called Shining in the Darkness. It played very much like Arcana, Eye of the Beholder, or even the later Etrian Odyssey. Or even some Etrian Odyssey spin-offs, like Etrian Q, Persona Q, and whatnot. It's a labyrinth game. It's a three-dimensional, first-person, dungeon delver. And Shining in the Darkness was very unique in the... Well, not very unique, but just unique in the fact that it had 3 party members, as opposed to, like... Actually, you know, Phantasy Star was very much the same. The very first Phantasy Star was very much the same vein of game, except that it had 5 party members, much like other games, like Etrian Odyssey and whatnot. Maybe Eye of the Beholder, I think I tried playing that once and could not figure it out at all, but I think I made up 5 party members and started the game that way. And then I think there's a game called Brandish, a game series of 2 games, I think, of 2 games and multiple remakes of those 2 games, called Brandish, where it's very much that style of game, I believe, too. Though very NES hard, very Nintendo hard, that game, as I've heard. Etrian Odyssey, Arcana. Arcana's my grandma's favorite game, I think. She likes to play that game just to relax and calm her mind down and chill out and relax. She could beat that game within a day or 2. Not that it's a short game by any means, but it's just... She was that good at the game. It's a Super Nintendo game. It's very card-based. Because all the characters are cards. Well, they have card-like frames and profiles and... Whoa, crap, that monster healed for a lot. All the enemies are cards. The main character is a card master. So... They fight using elemental cards and... Even elemental spirits that can join you in the battles in the story of the game will be card-like. It's very interesting. You gotta get three mystic items in order to fight the final boss. But that game has killer music. You should listen to the boss music for Arcana. Both the normal boss music and the final boss music. Those tracks slap like a devil. Okay, I think we got the last treasure chest on this floor now. Let's see here. Oops, don't do that. Yeah. That is all of them, so let us defeat this mutant fly we have left remaining on the floor here. Shantae, go ahead and get some more XP for you. So that's 1 floor down. I don't think from my reading of the strategy guides for this game that this is a very deep dungeon. I think it's a very shallow dungeon, but it's very rough, because, see, look already, there's our first power unit in here. It's not a very deep dungeon, but the main problem with this game, with this dungeon, is the fact that you need to fly over to get the treasure chest before finishing the floor, which in this case we do not. But yeah, in case you haven't noticed it by now with the sealed ruins, because they've been kind of spaced out. Of course, within this next set of videos, they're going to be very spaced together. Every single sealed ruin has 2 power units to it. except for the first one, which gave us our first 5. Which maybe Deikbeck came with 2 loaded in, or 2 or 3 loaded already, and then there were 2 from the... Well, no, there was Deikbeck and then 1 power unit at the bottom of the ruin. So, if anything, Deikbeck would have had to have 4 power units already loaded into his system, and would have had to be extricated from his old body to be used with his new body. And because this version of Deikbeck only uses 2 power units or some such. Well, yeah, every single sealed ruin has been sealed with 2 power units inside of them. So once we get what you're actually going to know is if you ever play this game yourself, is you cannot enter every sealed ruin as however you like it. You got to go in a certain order of ruins as you build up from 0 to 19. Because there are 20 power units in total, Deikbeck said, that's 0 to 19, because computers 0 and 1, they, stuff like that. It's like an array list in Godot or something. You got to start with the 0, end with the 19 for 20. And so, shit, I had a point to make. That was my first swear in a little bit. Yay! Oh, I was saying you cannot go to all the sealed ruins however you like, but, you have to take them in order of getting the power units in order from 0 to 19, up and up, up and up by every 2 of them. It's not a good spot for Elk to be in. Fighting 2 flies by himself, even though he is the Flame Hunter? Flame Master. Fire Master. I don't remember now. Oh, and there was a 3rd one coming his way too. I did not realize that. That kind of left Elk over there by himself, with nothing to do but to fight all the flies by himself. Let's send that gargoyle up to finish off that 1 mutant fly left up there. While we heal Elk. That would be very handy indeed. And sorry if I was just muttering to myself there, I did not mean to. Didn't mean to, it's what happened, but I'm sorry. I don't mean to mutter to myself, I was just going through the planning stages of what I'm going to be doing for this section of the battle. There is one other game, I just had the thought of it. There's one other game that's quite like this. And that gargoyle's not going to get his turn before the mutant fly gets up. Get Shantae some more XP, yay! I can't think what it is, though. I just had a flash of it in my head, and I'm like, oh, it's like this game, too. Ooh. If you possibly know other strategy RPG games where it's more of a random battle system like this, where you're dungeon diving and fighting the strategy battles at the same time, but it's not like the full screen party-on-party action. Like Shining Force or Fire Emblem, you would have the whole cast, or half the cast of characters that we have in Arcblad, and be fighting on one screen against 20 or more enemies or monsters and whatnot. But here in Arcblad, you only get to pick 5 to go dungeon diving. That's crazy to me. You pick 5, you stick with 5. Sometimes you get the opportunity to switch out your party, but still, actually, I need to heal the bottom party here. You don't... I don't know, it's very niche, I'd have to say. I would agree with that statement that I just made of myself, but I would agree that it is a good statement to say that this game is very niche. And I like it for that reason, in a way. The story is so gritty and so... But it resonates in some fashions with you, doesn't it? It resonates in a way that it's like... You know these are the bad guys, and you know these are the good guys, but the problem is not everyone knows who's right or wrong. The common people. Because everyone thinks, oh, Ark the Lad is a bad guy, and he's killed the king, and we, the player, as the observer of the game, know the truth of the matter is that Ando's been working nefarious plans for years and years, and we're working with the Guardians, the guardian spirits of the world, to save the world. It's sad that the common people don't get to see that in this game, you know, it's everyone... That's why Elk, at the start of this game, was so gung-ho on killing Ark, because of the Silver Noah incident and his capture, his kidnapping from his family, who was killed at Ando's forces' hands from Valencia. Because Elk was ready to hunt down Ark and beat his butt really bad. He was ready to pop a fool, as you could say. Long time ago now. Oh, this battle's taking a long time. Ooh, that's a thunderstorm. These gargoyles are also doing a lot AoE damage to me themselves. Well, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking I'm gonna get this power unit and hold off for the next episode to dive deeper into this dungeon. This battle is taking a small amount of time, which does make these dungeons quite a little bit rough in a sense, where you're not only fighting with only 5 people, but the amount of damage you take, the amount of magic you use healing up, whether you bring a healer with you or not, or whether you bring items with you to heal up, plus your limited inventory space, carry all those items. Which I've been reading a couple things, and I'm thinking maybe there's a way, even in the base game, in order to improve the armor, and to make use of the weaponsmiths and all that, in order to have better defenses. Even though I don't have the best items and equipment in the game, whether I'm using the Monster Arena game disc or not, to be better or not, there might be a way to even make this low-tier armor in the base game better than it could be than it is right now. So, having picked up Power Unit 13, I'll meet you on the next floor in the next episode of our Let's Play. Let me know if you enjoyed this episode today. Let me know if you're doing alright, having a good time, having a good day. And take care of yourselves until the next time, everyone. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.